You have to be prepared. You have to be reading. You have to be growing. You have to be sharpening your saw always, because you never know when it'll be your turn to start over. You never know. So be prepared always. All right, so here we are, week 2. Super excited for this one. If you haven't watched the previous one, go catch the big announcement that was released last week. Super excited to move forward as Davis Sales Training Peak State Performance. If you didn't catch last week or understand why that happened, go back and watch that. Excited to see Dwayne grow his business at Real D2D. But moving forward, everything that we train on is going to be how to put you in peak state, put more money in your bank account, and how do we help you be overall a better person, a better leader, a better father, spouse, husband, brother, daughter, friend, neighbor, so that you can then go help more people. So go catch that episode. Super excited for what was released then. Today we're going to talk about, and the reason you probably clicked on this one is how to start over. This is something that I've recently experienced and I want to hit on. I want you guys to know how I was able to flip a switch, go and build something really quick that will be impactful, that will help a lot of you moving forward. Most of the people that I talk to, that I've traveled to and talked with one-on-one, or you've called me off of YouTube, or we've talked in the DMs on Instagram, a lot of you have gone through this, or maybe you're going through this right now. You've either been in real estate for a long time and you need a new beginning and you need to start over, or you're leaving one industry and you're coming in to real estate, or you're coming into sales because you're having to start over. We've all been through this. The book that we read last month, if you're following along for the book club, which if you're not, comment book club, and there's a brand new packet that we branded Davis Sales Training that will get out to you immediately so you can follow along with the book club. But last month we read 3 Feet from Gold, and there were countless stories in here where some of the most successful people that were interviewed had to start over. It's part of the entrepreneur journey. It's part of life. Everyone's going to have to, at some point, start over. Some of you, it's going to be massive. It's going to be a massive rehaul of your life, and you're going to have to rebuild everything from scratch. Some of you, it's pretty small. But again, one of the cool things that I've learned from the Tony Robbins program, because I've been coached through their program for the past 4 or 5 years, has been to recognize patterns. Most of life is simply understanding what patterns do I need to recognize in order to accomplish X, Y, Z. Well, if you're wanting to start over, to move forward, to build something new from fresh or from the ground up, then these are going to be my most recommended principles, because I just went through this. I just had to start over. I just had to restart and rebuild. And these are the 4 to 5 things that, as I reflect on my experience, helped me go really, really fast. And so grab your notepad. We're going to take a ton of notes. You're going to get very, very detailed, and we're going to get vulnerable, and we're going to talk about the experience so that you can go and apply these and start over in your own business. All right, so here we go. If you're in any point of your career and you're having to start over, these are the things that I would recommend you going and doing. The first one is grieve. Grieve the past experience. A lot of times this isn't talked about. We suppress the emotions, we disregard our feelings, and we try to just move forward. From my experience, it just doesn't work. It'll slow you down, or it'll come back and haunt you moving forward if you don't take the time to go to a counselor, to talk to friends that you trust, to develop a relationship with God, to sit in a sauna, get off your phone, go camping, disconnect from the world so that you can really just connect with the emotions of the grieving that you're having to go through with whatever you're having to leave behind to then move forward. Sometimes we say things to ourselves that we wouldn't wish upon our worst enemies. Sometimes we're really rude to ourselves, and you have to become your biggest cheerleader. You have to clap for you. A lot of times people that you thought or would think would show up and clap for you don't. And some people do, and it's incredible. And if you have a corner or a big group of those that do that for you, then kudos to you, because that's incredible. But sometimes you have to be able to sit down with you and cry and really just process those emotions. I've been to a counselor for probably 10 years, a marriage counselor, and I've leveraged that with my business, and now mourning what was and being excited for what's to come. A lot of that comes from getting professional and trained help, or reading the books that allow you to incorporate that, journaling your thoughts and pulling them out of your mind onto paper. That's got to be the first one. Do not suppress your emotions. And the second thing is, part of grieving is to get clarity. Because from my experience, when you're depressed or when you're emotionally overwhelmed with what's happening, you've got to be able to pull these thoughts out of your mind, because it's like a storm. It'll just spin and spin and spin, from my experience. And if I can just sit down and pull these thoughts out, it allows me to get more clarity. I can see clearer. It's like a captain of a boat that's driving in a storm, or a pilot in a plane that is flying his plane through a storm. The clearer the weather is, the better the compass is, the better the technology is that they have, then it's easier for them to get through the storm. Without those things, it's near impossible. One of my favorite scripture stories is when the apostles were on the sea and they were being thrown around back and forth by the tempest. And Christ approaches them, and they're all panicking and freaking out. And they even think that Christ is a ghost, and they're panicking. And Christ tells them to be still, and he calms the storm. And it's a really cool teaching and principle that you have to learn to be calm when you go through these changes. And for me, that's been the biggest thing that has really helped to get clarity, navigate my emotions, don't suppress them, so that I can move forward. So that's principle number one, if you're starting over. The second one is go get a support system. This life is so hard. Sales and entrepreneurship is so hard. You have to have people in your corner. And if you don't have those people, then work on your people skills and network and find them. Because when you go through these massive changes, and you're going from one industry or one life to the next life, and you're having to make these pivots, having people that you can call and rely on is going to be the single greatest contributor to you moving forward, whether that be friends, colleagues, neighbors, family. Sometimes, to be honest, you don't have family. And that's the hardest part, is you think that you could call family and you can't. And sometimes you can, and that's incredible. Or sometimes there are friends that don't end up being true friends and they don't show up. And that speaks volumes. But going and getting people, maybe if it's only one or two or three or four, but having a support system to really get behind you, to remind you of your strengths and the qualities that will allow you to move forward, that will help you more than anything. So do not do this alone. Go get a support system. The third thing, after you've grieved, after you've gotten a support system, the next part is to map it out. Now you have to map it out and come to a realization, sit in front of the mirror and say, okay, these are the cards that I've been dealt. And for me, spirituality has a huge part here. I know that God's thoughts are not my thoughts. I know his ways are not my ways. And I know that God sees things from a different celestial, heavenly perspective that I can't see from my limited understanding. And there's a great scripture that talks about that we shouldn't lean on our own understanding because it can be faulty. And so for me, I'm going to figure out, okay, how am I going to move forward with the cards that I've been dealt, with what I can control for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? And then I'm going to control everything I can control. I'm going to get rid of all the uncontrollables. Too often with anxiety and with frustration and having to start over and transition, we get too overwhelmed because we focus on things that we can't control. And 90% of it, to be honest, is things that we can't control. But I'm going to get rid of all of that. And I'm going to focus on, okay, what are the 4 or 5 things I can do right now? I might not have the whole picture in front of me. I might not have all the pieces in front of me, but what pieces do I have? What do I have that I can work with? And then I'm going to put those in front of me and I'm going to use those to move forward. And as I move forward, more pieces to the puzzle are going to come my way because I'm moving forward. One of the greatest examples of this is actually my YouTube editor, Blake. He talks about how in the military, a lot of the times when you go on missions, it's a luxury if you have 10% of the entire puzzle, the entire mission. If you have 25, it's like, oh my gosh, that never happens. And a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we think when we map it out, we need 100% of the puzzle. Trust me, you won't have that. If you have 5-10%, take it and move forward. But look at the pieces that you have. Look at what cards you've been dealt. Map it out and then move. And that's the last principle, is you've got to move. You've got to move forward. The universe responds to movement. It does. If you can move forward, then all of a sudden one door gets open, another door gets open. And now what happens is you start to create momentum with speed. But too often, a lot of people get stuck through anxiety, or they get hit with decision paralysis. There's too many decisions, but it's because you didn't go through this process. You didn't follow these patterns. You haven't read countless examples of those that had to start over. And so you're not recognizing the patterns and the things and the principles that they taught. And so you get hit with this anxiety. You've got to make sure you go through this process. You got to grieve. You have to get clarity, deal with your emotions, get the support system, look at what pieces you have, and then you've got to go. You have got to move. I've seen it so many times with people that take too long and they wait too long to make a decision. Well, I'd rather have one or two pieces to the puzzle move. And because I'm going so fast, I'm going to have more parts of the puzzle before you even start. And now I'm doing laps around you. I'm already on my second, third, fourth, fifth lap. And yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but look at the speed and momentum that I have in my business. And you haven't even started yet. One of the greatest examples on this is Mr. Beast. If you guys follow Cody Sanchez, who's an incredible follow in of herself, one of my favorite people to follow, she was talking about how she had interviewed Mr. Beast's team. And she was asking him like, hey, what makes Mr. Beast so good? Like, why is he so good? And they responded, he's just so fast. He's so fast. He's already thinking of ideas, implementing them, doing this, doing that before people even have a meeting. People want to have a meeting 2 or 3 days out, and he's already had, 50 different idea implementations within 2 or 3 hours. And those guys aren't even having a meeting for another 3 or 4 days. He just moves so fast. And for me, that's one thing that has helped so well, is being able to move quick with speed and with intention, and being okay that you don't have all the pieces. If you guys have read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, he's got an incredible formula for luck. It's probably one of the most rememberable pieces of any literature that I've read. And if you can really understand this, then it allows you to really connect the dots of why speed in decisions is so quick. A lot of times when I talk to all of you that call off of YouTube about joining me at Real on my team and my network, or joining the new coaching program that I just created that is going to be moving forward as Davis Sales Training, a lot of times I'll just tell you guys, do you think that Steve Jobs or Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Donald Trump or Mr. Beast, do you guys think those guys have an idea on their plate and you think they wait 2 or 3 days to make the decision? No, they don't do that. They act quick. If you struggle with that, there's a great book by Peter Drucker called The Effective Executive. And in there, he talks about how executives, they feed opportunities and they starve problems. But as a society, sometimes we feed problems and we starve opportunity. And so you've got to get really good at seeing opportunities and then taking them and moving forward. So this is an incredible read. So the formula that Darren Hardy talks about is, he calls it the luck formula. And he says, preparation plus attitude plus opportunity plus action equals luck. You have to be prepared. You have to be reading. You have to be growing. You have to be sharpening your saw always, because you never know when it'll be your turn to start over. You never know. So be prepared always. Make sure your mindset is continuously sharp and your attitude is sharp and it's growing and it's focused and it's abundant. Because then when an opportunity comes in front of you, you're going to recognize it. A lot of people don't recognize the opportunities in front of them because they're too stuck in their emotions. They're too stuck in their disbelief or their scarcity mindset, and they get trapped. So here comes an opportunity right in front of them and they miss it and they can't see it. Well, why can some see it and others don't? It's because they're not prepared. Their attitude is low. They haven't resolved their emotions. They haven't gained that clarity. They don't have the support system. They don't have it mapped out. So they miss that window. Eric Thomas, if you guys follow him, he used to always say that every opportunity has a lifespan. There's a lifespan of every opportunity, and every opportunity might only last 24 hours, and you might miss it. So you want to be more lucky, be more prepared, have a better attitude, watch for opportunities, and then act. You've got to be quick. And for me, that has helped. And I wanted to cover this today because I talk about this a lot with those that I talk with on the phone, in the DMs on Instagram, and I meet in person. A lot of you are having to start over. Well, these would be my best pieces of advice. Hopefully today was helpful. If you guys have any questions, if you're starting over and you're going through this right now, call me, 702-525-5766. I'll pick up your phone. We'll get on a Zoom call and I will help you put the pieces together. I will be part of that support system for completely free so that you can get that momentum and you can go in the right direction. And then when you need me down the road, if you do want to join me at Real or join the coaching platform, then great. We might be a really good fit. But if not, if I can just put you on the right path, then to me, I've done my job.